All right, good morning, everyone. And thank you all for coming out this morning. We're here this morning to announce the filing of a lawsuit against New Frontier Armory. New Frontier is a Nevada-based company that we allege unlawfully sold and shipped illegal large-capacity magazines, or LCMs, into our state. In New Jersey, we define LCMs as magazines that can hold more than 10 rounds of ammunition. And they're illegal in this state because they enable a mass shooter to fire more than 10 bullets at a time without ever having to stop and to reload. They're illegal in New Jersey because they allow a gang member to shoot up a rival without ever having to stop and to reload. They're illegal in this state because they are contributing to the mass shooting crisis that we are seeing in this country. And they're illegal in New Jersey because they have been used in some of the deadliest and most horrific tragedies in recent history. From Las Vegas to Orlando to Sandy Hook, LCMs have fueled carnage across the country. So with today's action, here in New Jersey, we're showing that we have zero tolerance for these lethal products. And we're sending a powerful message, not just to New Frontier Armory, but also to any other companies that may think about ignoring our laws, that if they make unlawful LCM sales into our state, we will hold them accountable. For over 25 years, it's been illegal in this state to own or to sell large capacity magazines. And in New Jersey, for a long time, we defined large capacity magazines, or LCMs, as magazines that can carry more than 15 bullets. But on June 13th of last year, Governor Murphy strengthened New Jersey's LCM restrictions by signing a law that lowered the lawful limit from 15 to 10 rounds per magazine. In doing so, he sought to protect communities, to protect families, to protect our children from the scourge of mass shootings. And to their credit, some of the companies that manufacture and sell these products came into compliance with our new law. They responded quickly and stopped selling unlawful LCMs into our state. But we wanted to do more. We wanted to see what these companies would do when they thought no one was watching them. So we directed our investigators to buy LCMs, or at least try to buy LCMs from these online sellers. And we wanted to see if they would ship into our state. While most of these companies were compliant, one, however, was not. Late last year, our investigators purchased and obtained 3 30-round magazines from New Frontier's website. But we wanted to give them a chance to come into compliance with our laws. So we sent them a cease-and-desist letter. And to their credit, they responded to our cease-and-desist letter and said that they would come into compliance with our new laws. And yet, 4 months later, as part of our ongoing enforcement operations, our undercover investigators purchased not only a 15-round large capacity magazine from them, but also a 30-round large capacity magazine, as well as a 100-round large capacity magazine. Let me repeat that. A 100-round large capacity magazine. A magazine that enables someone to shoot 100 rounds without ever having to stop and to reload. In total, during the course of our investigation, we purchased 6 large capacity magazines from New Frontier Armory. And because of its illegal actions, we filed a 3-count lawsuit against New Frontier Armory this morning. Director Rodriguez will go over the penalties, but in broad strokes, we're seeking the maximum civil penalties available. But more than that, we're seeking an order forcing the company to immediately stop selling their products into New Jersey. You see, we intend to hold New Frontier Armory and any other companies who engage in similar conduct fully accountable. And with today's action, we're once again showing this industry across the country that we're not afraid to use our civil enforcement authority and all the tools at our disposal to do so. Because when companies put our residents at risk and violate our consumer protection laws, in New Jersey, we will stand up. And let me tell you why actions like today's make a real difference. this is not the first time that we've led the fight against the sale of unlawful and dangerous weapons online. Last year, the legislature passed a law banning the purchase of ghost guns. And ghost guns, as many of you may know, are guns that are unregistered. They're unserialized, and they're sold without any background checks whatsoever. And just 3 months ago, we arrested 12 men as part of a takedown of a ghost gun trafficking network. We charged them with trafficking ghost gun AR-15 style assault rifles. And here's the thing, during the course of that investigation, we intercepted conversations of those gang members talking to each other. And we intercepted one conversation where they acknowledged that New Jersey had passed strong laws preventing the sale and possession of ghost guns in this state. And they said, we can't ship those parts into New Jersey anymore. We have to send them to Pennsylvania. Those were our laws that caused them to do that. But here's the other thing. When they assembled those weapons after those parts were shipped to Pennsylvania, we were waiting for them here in New Jersey, and we took down that ring. But that's proof that our laws are having an effect. And we took those weapons off the streets, and we'll do the same thing with anyone who tries to circumvent our laws by shipping LCMs into this state or into a neighboring state, or any gang members that tried to circumvent those laws by trafficking these weapons here into New Jersey. Because when the legislature and the governor gives us these tools to fight gun violence, like they did when enacting those new ghost gun laws and LCM restrictions last year, we're committed to using them. Let me also tell you what this case is not. This case is not about going after lawful gun owners. I think all of us in this room can agree. Everyone here, it's common sense. No one needs a 100-round magazine. No one needs the ability to have 100 rounds and to be able to fire them without ever having to stop and to reload. What this is about is common sense. This is about public safety. It's about law enforcement safety. And it's about doing everything we can here in New Jersey to end the scourge of gun violence. Because I think our residents deserve nothing less. Now I'd like to turn it over to the Director of the Division of Consumer Affairs, Paul Rodriguez, who will talk about the details of today's filing. And after that, we'll take your questions. Paul?
Thank you, General. As General Grewal explained, New Jersey has since 1990 banned large capacity magazines. It is not only illegal to sell them, it is also illegal to possess them in New Jersey, meaning someone who buys one is guilty of a fourth-degree crime, punishable by up to $10,000 in fines and 18 months in jail. Despite this, New Frontier Armory advertised and sold LCMs containing up to 100 rounds, all without informing customers that these magazines are illegal to buy in New Jersey. And the company continued to do so even after the Attorney General sent a letter to the company demanding that it stop selling these dangerous and illegal products and warning that he would take action if they continue to sell them in New Jersey. Today, we are following through with that promise. New Frontier Armory's practices constitute a violation of both the New Jersey Consumer Fraud Act and the state's hazardous products regulations, and we will hold them accountable. To conduct our investigation, our investigators reviewed the company's website and determined that 27 out of the 30 magazines the company offered for sale contained more than 10 rounds, some, such as this one, ranging up to 100 rounds. Despite being on notice of our laws, New Frontier Armory's website makes no reference to New Jersey law or the fact that purchasing these products in New Jersey is a crime. What's more, just last month, our investigators made undercover purchases of 3 LCMs, one of which was a 100-round drum magazine for an AR-15 rifle, pictured here. Despite getting an explicit warning from the Attorney General, the company took our order and delivered these dangerous and illegal products to us less than a week after we made our order. We allege that New Frontier Armory violated New Jersey's Consumer Fraud Act by advertising, offering for sale, and actually selling items, possession of which is a criminal offense that can land purchasers in jail. Failing to disclose it is illegal to possess LCMs in New Jersey, falsely stating on its website that the company will cancel shipments to areas where LCMs are prohibited, failing to cease and desist after receiving a warning from the Attorney General, thereby engaging in unconscionable commercial practices, acts of deception, misrepresentations, and knowing omissions of material fact. We further allege that New Frontier Armory violated the hazardous products regulations, which clearly state that it's an unconscionable business practice to advertise, market, or solicit for sale something that is illegal to possess. Based on this, we've asked the court to prevent the company from continuing to put our residents at risk by selling prohibited items, order the company to block sales to New Jersey addresses, and place a warning on their website for New Jersey consumers. In addition, we're seeking disgorgement of all funds obtained through illegal sales, and we're seeking the maximum civil penalties of $10,000 per violation and $20,000 per each subsequent violation. We're also seeking recoupment for all of our costs and attorney's fees. As Attorney General Grewal made clear, we will not allow a company that is selling illegal, large-capacity magazines to continue to put our children and families in danger. Thank you.
So before we turn it to your questions, let me just acknowledge a number of the people who made today's enforcement action possible. In particular, I want to thank our Director of the Division of Law, Michelle Miller, for her work here, her Deputy Director, Jason Rockwell, and Lorraine Rack, Jesse Serrant, who also did excellent work in putting this litigation together. And to Paul's team at the Division of Consumer Affairs, I want to thank Aziza Salikova and Adis Lepan. And none of this would be possible without the effort that those individuals put in. But also, I want to acknowledge all the groups who are here this morning who worked tirelessly to keep New Jersey safe from the scourge of gun violence, from Brady to Moms Demand Action to Adam Skaggs from Giffords, who are here this morning, and obviously to Bill Kastner, who helps coordinate a number of these efforts across the state as an advisor to the governor and a partner in these efforts. So I want to thank them for joining us this morning. And so now we'll take your questions about our enforcement operations in this case.
Are you going to be looking into this company's sale to residents or just the sales that the purchases you guys make? How are you going to, is that part of the court order to go looking for who bought these items before you got them?
That's an excellent question. The complaint starts the litigation process. During the litigation process, we hope to get information about the complete picture of their sales into New Jersey, and certainly we want to hold the company accountable, and we'll follow up with whatever information we develop during the course of that, during the discovery process in this case, as far as seeing if it's other individuals that we want to hold accountable or if the investigation leads somewhere else as well. But I'm not foreclosing any of that. Yes, sir.
To be clear on the civil penalty, then we're talking about $30,000 or a maximum of $30,000 in this three complaint. Is that for $10,000 for each complaint?
It actually builds, so I'll turn it over to the director. But again, as I just mentioned in response to that last question, we're going to get discovery in this case, and we're going to get a complete picture of their sales and their sales activity. And if it shows 200 sales into New Jersey, we intend to hold them accountable. But also, they're advertising on the website of different products that are illegal into this state. That also is a violation and leads to penalties. And so we're going to hit them where it hurts, which is in their pocketbooks, and we're going to disgorge profits, and we're going to obtain penalties, attorneys' fees, and costs. Director?
That's absolutely right. So it's not just $10,000 per each sale. There's multiple violations that are represented on the website right now, and in the course of the litigation, we expect to discover a lot more in the process of discovery.
Steve, did you have a question?
The 30 and 100 rounds, they violate New Jersey's ban before the laws were changed.
Right.
Going back before that law.
So we're going to get a complete picture, and so if they violated our law for 25 years, it was 15. And then last year we changed to 10. And so if we identify violations of New Jersey law and our Consumer Fraud Act, we will hold them accountable for those violations. And that'll be part of our damages assessment in the case when we articulate that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, General, you mentioned that some of the companies came into compliance with the law. How many other companies like this did we look at?
So in our initial investigation, we looked at 5 companies. 4 came into compliance, and we can get you that information after the press conference this morning. 1 did not. That's not to say that there are not other companies who are engaged in similar conduct, and if they are, out there. I would encourage individuals to reach out to the Division of Consumer Affairs because their conduct, if they're advertising these products for sale into New Jersey, is unlawful. And I think today we're sending a strong message, as we did in our ghost gun case with Patriot Armory, that we intend to be active on the internet. We intend to police the internet for actors like this that try to circumvent our laws and don't abide by them. And in this case, we gave them plenty of opportunity to correct their behavior with the cease and desist letter, which they told us they'd comply with, but then flouted. So.
As a question about a policy issue yesterday, scope for material, why was it just state police agencies as opposed to a directive that would affect county prosecutors?
Let me see if there are any other on-topic questions, and then I'll return to you. Is there anything else with respect to today's enforcement action with the ghost gun companies, or rather with the LCM manufacturers and companies? So your question is about our Brady Giglio policy that we issued. We issued it it applies to the state police, it applies to the Office of Insurance Fraud Prosecutor, and it applies to the Division of Criminal Justice. I think it's an important first step in implementing a Brady and Giglio policy statewide. This is something that when we came into office in January of last year, we intended to do. It's nothing new. I mean, Brady and Giglio have been the law for over 40 years, and we wanted to have a system by which we could track information related to individual officers and comply with our Brady and Giglio obligations in court. And like anything else, we want to make sure we get it right before we roll it out statewide. A number of our counties also have policies in place, and we're working with them, and it's an iterative process.
I was going to ask, so it's a sort of unclear area of law, and it's maybe not the clearest understanding of what qualifies as Brady or Giglio material. I know the policy has some suggestions about what could qualify, what should be disclosed, but it doesn't go so far as to dictate what must be disclosed.
So I think the policy actually is pretty complete and provides a good roadmap on how for prosecutors to assess whether something qualifies as Brady or Giglio or impeachment material. It is pretty settled law. Brady and Giglio were Supreme Court cases from over 40 years ago. We've had the New Jersey Supreme Court speak out on these issues as well, and so what we've given is guidance to our prosecutors as to how to determine Brady and Giglio. But I understand, you have a copy of the policy. We provided to you yesterday, and you have a lot of questions about Brady and Giglio. We're here on an enforcement action, and so I'll accommodate those questions. We have a list of questions that you have submitted, and we'll respond to those in kind and provide you that information as well.
I know, do you have another place to get to today?